Hey everybody, this is Way to Fail with another Scrolls Ranked replay, where today we have a game between the ever-famous Blinky and the ever-PewQ. This is going to be an interesting matchup between two very high-level players. In fact, I'm not entirely sure. This may be a game that Blinky's played on his YouTube channel as well. Definitely check that out. He has a lot of really good content and high-level analysis. Me, I don't know what you can say about me. But Blinky, this is going to be from his perspective, and he starts off with a pretty standard Decay hand here. He is playing a Decay Order Growth kind of standard deck that may or may not survive the Puppet Nutrition nerf, which is still incoming, but for now he does get rid of the Blessing of Haste first because he is going for Decay and trying to get out his creatures early. Oblivion Seeker and Ilmar Witch Doctor are both good, but not necessarily early cards here. But Blinky prioritizing creatures over spells, because this deck does do best or plays nicest when it gets more creatures on the board here. So Blinky going for resources does get rid of the Loyal Darkling, now, which is interesting because it's not necessarily an early card game. It does easily die and ramp up things like Harvester. It looks like Blinky instead is trying to go for higher health, beefier units, gets rid of the Brain Lice as well. So Blinky just going straight up hard on creatures, just trying to go for getting more creatures out on the board. PewQ, not having a lot of tiny targets to pick off, is going to get out a Cursemonger of his own, as Cursemonger, the Curse 2, is just so powerful. And Blinky actually electing to get rid of the Ilmar Hunter and opting to keep the Lifestealer instead, which is interesting to me. You see so many people rag on the Slayer ability for the Ilmar Hunter, but Blinky not really being in favor of it at this point. It is a good damning curse magnet, if you will. But getting the cards out and getting the creatures out at this point are a little bit more important. And Pother doesn't do him a lot of good. Blinky getting a Lifestealer, getting a Blessing of Haste. So far some pretty interesting draws here as we have kind of standard Decay versus Decay at this point. Neither player tipping their hands to their alternate resource here, so maybe a little bit of a game within a game. As this Cursemonger gets Curse 2'd, which if Blinky had held on to his Brain Lice, then maybe that could have gone to Curse Dead next turn. But not the play that he's making, because he's just trying to get out more board control at this point. This Lifestealer is now having a good time. And so far, the Harvester is just sitting there waiting to nosh, waiting on something to eat. And there's not too much going on with it. This Oblivion Seeker possibly going to be doing some damage here. But there is an important Witch Doctor right there. And notice the placement by Blinky. This Witch Doctor is going to be bringing back to life whatever could possibly come its way. Although PewQ, without something like Return to Nature, which is exactly what we're seeing, without Return to Nature is just... Whoa. So Return to Nature allowing this poor guy, the Lifestealer, who was cursed, to die. So that Lifestealer won't be attacking next turn. Good smart curse by PewQ. Once again, I apologize for not necessarily catching it. It's hard when the UI doesn't necessarily flash, except for that tiny flash that says Curse 2. But Witch Doctor is Brain Lice right now, but that's only a 3-turn Brain Lice. Blinky's starting to get a bunch of creatures on the board, drawing his first nutrition, but not showing his growth yet. PewQ playing with some growth, at least somewhere, based on the Return to Nature. And there still are some good growth cards that do help Decay, even if Puppet Nutrition is gotten rid of. In fact, it could be said that even without it, as there's a Damning Curse to let go of that as well. And oh, there's the Harvester going to town right away. So good combo for PewQ there. But even then, there's Nutrition may still have a place in Decay, at least for killing your own creatures and ramping up resources and getting extra cards on the board. Remains to be seen Blinky having a Tethered Recruit in hand, but cannot like the way that turn ended up, especially with Puppet Nutrition not allowing the Witch Doctor to place a Husk there, because those resolve at the same time, much like Quake would if it were to do enough damage. So PewQ getting a Cursemonger as well. Blinky with 2 Cursemongers, which has to be at least a little bit terrifying. The problem is that unless he Blessing of Hastes his other Cursemonger, he's not going to be able to take out that Harvester. Is that what he's going to do here? I don't know if he has the resources to sacrifice at this point, considering he's already drawn cards, but at least he can protect his poor Cursemonger and move his units up and down. Get his units at least spread a little bit more. The Loyal Darkling's going to be there now as at least a little bit of a deterrent. The Tether Recruit, on the other hand, just being languided to the point of impotence. But when it dies, and it will die at some point, because this is a Decay game and things are going to die. Unfortunately, there are 2 Harvesters, so that's pretty tough to deal with. When it dies, Blinky will get some order, and maybe that's why he's not sacrificing for order, because he knows something's coming. 3 nutritions, maybe not what he wants, although he could possibly nutrition one of his cards to play a Witch Doctor here, although he doesn't have that many options, and he wants to keep the Curse Mongers available. Just kind of some tough stretches to be in at this point. 2 damage to the Harvester, because don't forget, Curse is 2 damage, independent of the lack of attack. So those Harvesters, if PewQ can do something to get those Harvesters cooldown, knockdown, it's going to be glorious. But instead, there's the Necrogeddon, so that's got to suck to kind of flush 2 Harvesters down the drain. But with all that cursing around, Blinky being able to deter PewQ's potential attack. And right away, the Loyal Darkling doing some damage, but 1 Cursemonger down, others just at less damage. 1 Cursemonger taking 7 damage from being double cursed. That's got to be a little ridiculous. So nutrition by Blinky to at least get a bunch of creatures on the board. He does have plenty of options available here. So like I said, nutrition may be having a place still, but unfortunately not too much that Blinky can do. That was a well-timed Necrogeddon, even though I'm sure PewQ would have preferred not to lose 2 Harvesters. Because you do want to, that's one of those turn cards. You want to really be able to use it when you can make things happen. So I guess one of the interesting questions here now is that there's a Damning Curse from PewQ. Does Blinky actually Damning Curse to clear his own board here? Because he isn't running with some of the cards that you see so many players running with. He's not running with Frostgale. He's not running with Return to Nature, which are great ways to counter Necrogeddon. Instead, there's the Puppet Nutrition combo. And there is a very, very beefy Rod Eater there. And Blinky does have the stones, I guess you call it the stones, does have the cards to Damning Curse it, but he's not going to do that just yet. What I can assume is that he's saving it to possibly kill off 3 creatures in one go and have his Harvester attack next turn. Because that's exactly what would happen if he did Damning Curse, and that Harvester could potentially almost take out an idol, but with the way PewQ's moved his units, not really happening now. So what's Blinky going to do? He can Damning Curse, he can Soul Steal. So there we go. There's going to be a Harvester down, and there's going to be another Harvester rah, 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 eating everything up and alive. And good moment there for at least that Ilmar Rod Eater almost just survived. But once again, we're at kind of Decay, turn 15. What are we doing, guys? No cards on the board. Some idle damage. It's going to take a lot of ramping and ramping fast between these two. But Blinky finally getting his first order, getting another tethered recruit down. So not sacrificing for order at all, instead letting the game take its own course. So playing the long game here, and it looks like Blinky playing a very late game Decay deck. PewQ playing a little bit more of a standard what we've seen here. If he can possibly do some good with those 2 Loyal Darklings. That's 1 idle down, but Blinky does have some options. He could play a Witch Doctor, he could play a Harvester as well. There's not really any great Damning Curse target, because Damning Cursing the Oblivion Seeker would just be feeding PewQ cards. But there's the Harvester up top. Blinky keeping the spread, or keeping the spread going for Puppet Nutrition, but the Ilmar Rod Eater says, I'm not going to do that. Had a 50-50 shot of staying on the row and didn't. So Necrogeddon once again. Oh, Necrogeddon, such a fun card, seeing all this undead just arise from the souls of the living. Frostgale as well as, oh no, this is going to be a total board clear for PewQ. He has 3 husks on the board, and they're all at 1 health. But those are still 3 husks on the board to Blinky's nothing. So Languid, he gets a Languid into a Languid, which is about as inept as a Sister of the Fox into the Sister of the Fox. Except at least it does lower some attack a little bit. Of course, if PewQ were to say Necrogeddon again, that could be pretty fun. There we go, Necrogeddon into Necrogeddon. That's just, and what that does is that it turns the husk into husk. They get to attack again. They're back to full health. Everybody's happy. That's 2 idols down against Blinky. So, oh, PewQ, you are just after my undead heart, I guess you could say. But Blinky, really on the ropes right now. He's got to get something back in order, or he is going to be in trouble. He does have some cards, but the Puppet Nutrition combo doesn't work too great when you just Necrogeddon every damn turn. Is this going to be triple Necrogeddon? That could be the end of the game if it is, but no. No, not at this stage. There's another Oblivion Seeker, but otherwise Blinky just trying to hold on. He does pother, tries to get another card, but definitely not a great position to be in. at this point. He can try and get up some defensive creatures, but if PewQ draws another Necrogeddon, that's going to be it. Double Brain Lice on the Witch Doctor, so he is marked for death. Every creature is ready to attack. Blinky needs to do something to take care of these husks. And right now it's one Puppet Soldier. Not really a lot that he can do here. He gets a second Puppet Soldier. So there we go, some defensive Puppet Soldiering. Maybe not the idealist of situations, but at least it does get Blinky some time. And time is really what he needs right now because he's lost the board battle at this point. And there is a Puppet Soldier. Does PewQ have anything to get rid of the Puppet Soldier? Doesn't look like it. So instead it's just everybody's going to be on the attack. He is going to sacrifice some husks. And I don't know if PewQ, did he not realize that Puppet Soldier actually destroys everything? He did say wow, but I'm not sure exactly at what. So Blinky back in the game, and I guess was kind of a brain fart by PewQ to get rid of all of his husks there. 2 Witch Doctors are pretty tough because that means one of them is going to become a husk. And Blinky has got some definite catching up to do unless PewQ can get together a bunch of units and try and Necrogeddon again or something. There's another Necrogeddon. And what's kind of the end game here? I mean, he gets 3 creatures down. But it's not really, with the Witch Doctor there, it's not going to do a ton of good. Gets out the other... The Witch Doctor really is saving the day there because the husks act as a very good defense. So Blinky really trying to just control the board. Getting PewQ down to 1 husk is fantastic. But once again, Blinky is in a very precarious position because there's idols that are definitely vulnerable. On the other hand, PewQ has played 3 Necrogeddons pretty much in succession, so the chances are he's not going to be drawing another one for a while. Of course, PewQ is drawing a lot of cards, so that is also that's also possible. That could change. So there's a Damning Curse, Return to Nature, Frost Gale, and just like that, PewQ may have taken out some of his own creatures, but we're doing the Decay thing again and just clearing the board and taking away everyone's ability to hurt everyone else. Blinky could Damning Curse that poor Sister of the Fox. Definitely a terrible idea. The Ilmire Hunter does come out, though, which is not great for idle damage, but it is a good card deterrent. But otherwise, it's just going to be a bunch of creatures at this point. And now PewQ is in a very interesting position here, because if he draws another Loyal Darkling, he can end Blinky's game really fast, because it would just be 2 direct idle damage. So really a vulnerable state for Blinky to be in right now. We're going to see a Puppet Nutrition here. And is this rat... Oh no, does he have another Necrogeddon in his hand? If he does, that's it. Blinky saying GG. He knows what's coming. The Necrogeddon that I thought wouldn't come has come. The Undead Legion's march on the final idol, and that's going to be game. And just for kicks, PewQ does attack and kill even more units. But that's it. Defeat for Blinky. Victory by PewQ. Another Decay versus Decay matchup. As I said before, the dynamics of these matches are going to change when Puppet Nutrition disappears. Like that winning play by PewQ is going to go away. But at least for now, still an entertaining match between 2 very high-level players. Blinky trying to get creatures on the board early to stay ahead, but PewQ with his constant pressure from Necrogeddon, with his constant pressure from Return to Nature and Frostgale, able to carry the day, especially with the superior card draw. So this is Way to Fail with another Scrolls Ranked replay. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them in the comments section, like or dislike or anything like that. Otherwise, look out for more Scrolls content in the near future. Hope you enjoyed it. I will see you all next time.